Real estate experts are predicting that 2024 will be a very different year in some key important ways for people moving. It's December, we're coming to the end of 2023, it's the holiday season, and for many people, that means looking forward to the big plans that you have in store for 2024. That's why today I'm going to give you a look forward at what's coming in the next year in real estate, so whether you're thinking of buying or selling in the next year, you can start preparing to get the most out of your move. I'm Chase Hansen, your DFW Realtor. Today in the update, we're going to talk about the most important expert predictions for 2024. So we'll look at the outlook for mortgage rates, what the experts are predicting for home prices in 2024, and the number one thing we learned from the 2023 market that will help you win in the 2024 housing market. If you find these videos helpful or learn anything new, I just ask that you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And for personalized home advice, whether you're moving or even just thinking about moving, you can also request a free consultation through the link or contact info in the video description. I'd love to help you think through your plan. All right, let's talk about mortgage rates. Mortgage interest rates are the number one thing that has slowed down or sped up the housing market in the past 5 years. They're the reason the pandemic market got so out of control, and they're the reason that the last 2 years have seen a much more restricted housing market. The reason for that is because mortgage rates are a major factor in how expensive a home buyer's monthly payments are. And that is also what decides how expensive a house the average buyer can afford. So when we talk about affordability in housing, we're not just talking about the big ticket price you see on Zillow. We're talking about the whole financial picture of what goes into someone being able to afford a house. And mortgage rates control a lot of that cost. So what's happening to mortgage rates? The past several months, we have been waiting for mortgage rates to reverse course and start going down after rising for much of the year. They've been rising because of the Federal Reserve trying to control inflation, but now it seems that they've finished the scary part of the roller coaster and things are finally settling down a bit. In the past month alone, we have seen mortgage rates drop almost 3/4 of a point, that's huge, since the end of October through now at the beginning of December. Now, that's a drop that I've been predicting for months based on the experts' data, and I'm relieved that we're finally seeing it. So we've seen rates starting to drop. What are the experts predicting for mortgage rates next year? The Mortgage Bankers Association predicts we'll end 2024 with an average 6.1% mortgage rate, falling steadily throughout the year. Now, as I was prepping this update, the average rate according to Mortgage News Daily was 7.3%. So on a $350,000 house, the difference between a 7.3% rate and a 6.1% rate is over $200 a month. Now, these are predictions, not promises, and rates change every day and can vary based on your lender, but the point is this: rates are falling. And the experts are saying that they should fall in a sustained way over the course of the year, and that's good news for everybody. Why do I say it's good news? What does that mean for home buyers and sellers? Well, for buyers, it means lower monthly payments and more flexibility in your budget. Now, we're already back to the rates we saw at the beginning of this year, and we are moving lower. But we're doing it at a steady, stable pace, so this should not trigger the avalanche of competition and craziness of price increases that we saw in the pandemic market. So that's a good thing for everyone. Stability is good. For sellers, it means steady demand for houses. Now, prices have not fallen off a cliff, and no one who knows what they're talking about thinks they will. That means that you can get a good price for your house and turn around and get into your next house in a predictable way. Your equity is still there and prices are not getting away from you one direction or the other. I think we can all say that's good news. And I think 2024 will be the best time to buy or sell in several years because it should be a stable and friendly market for reasonable, normal buyers and sellers on both sides. So those are the predictions for mortgage rates. Now we're going to look at home prices. Be sure to give the video a like if you think that lower mortgage rates is good news. Okay, home prices. This has been an ongoing question for many people across the board. It's why some people have waited to sell, it's why some people have waited to buy. So let's talk about it. What is going to happen to home prices in 2024? Is there going to be a market crash? Are prices going to soar up again like they did in the pandemic? These are important questions because they shape the decisions that real people are making for their homes and their families. So let's look at what the experts are saying and predicting. These are the home price predictions for 2024 from 4 reputable sources for home price and real estate predictions. These are organizations looking at real data, making predictions for what will happen with home prices nationally. Mortgage Bankers Association predicts that home prices will rise 4.1% year over year in 2024. Fannie Mae Home Price Index for November predicts a 2.8% rise. Freddie Mac is predicting a 2.6% rise. National Association of Realtors is predicting a 3% rise. The point here is that the major agencies and organizations that are experts when it comes to researching and understanding the housing market think that the trajectory for home prices is moving up. And the thing in this that I find to be super encouraging is that the average of the predictions is a little over 3%. Now, that's important because a normal amount of growth for the real estate market historically is considered to be between 2 and 4% a year. Now, real estate is not supposed to be a get rich quick scheme. It's a long term investment that over time grows in value. So, the 5 or 10 years from now, when you're in a new phase of life and you can turn around and sell your house and take that growth in value, that's what's called equity, and put that into your next house. So what we're seeing is the housing market returning to a normal, healthy level of growth. Not the crazy COVID bidding wars and spikes, not a housing price crash. Anyone who tells you the housing market is about to crash and drop prices like crazy isn't looking at real data. They don't understand how the supply and demand of the housing market works. They're just looking for clicks and selling people get rich quick schemes. That's not what housing is. It's a long-term investment for stability that has historically been one of the most reliable hedges against inflation. It's getting out of the renting price cycle and putting your housing budget towards your future instead of throwing that money away in a landlord's wallet. And it's investing in a place that you own, that creates long-term stability for your family. The fact that experts are predicting about a 3% rise in home prices means that you won't likely be budgeting for bidding wars. You have a realistic outlook for what the home prices in a given neighborhood are going to be, so they won't be jumping up or down. And if you're selling, it means you can plan realistically based on a market analysis instead of being tossed around by shifting markets. Now, to me, that's all great news. Again, stability is good because it lets you plan for what's best for your budget and your family. All right, so we talked about mortgage rates and home prices. We've seen what the experts are saying about 2024, and we're about to look at the biggest lesson we can take away from the 2023 housing market. Before we do, make sure you've given this video a like, subscribe to this channel for more helpful content like this, and if you're watching because you're planning to move soon, there's a link in the description to schedule a free consultation. I'd love to give you more personal advice to help you plan for your move. Okay, let's talk about what we learned from the 2023 housing market. Now, I think it's always important to look back at what happened, what trends have formed, what lessons we can take away to better understand how we can take advantage of those things in the future. My job is to represent people who are buying or selling their houses, to negotiate for them, to advise them on what's best so they can get the best deal. And so I'm always keeping my eyes open, paying attention to trends, listening to the smartest experts I can find to do that well. And so looking back at 2023, this is the biggest lesson I've taken away. My biggest takeaway from the 2023 housing market is that the housing market is resilient. Now that may sound simple, but it's actually a really important principle that we can look at. So let me explain what I mean real quick. Look at the last 5 years in housing. In 2019, we had a slow, somewhat balanced market. In 2020, COVID hit and the Federal Reserve dropped interest rates to historic lows to try to keep the economy from crashing, spiraling out of control as normal life and a lot of work changed shape in a public health emergency. They didn't raise those rates though when things started to normalize, and so 2021 and the first half of 2022, we saw one of the largest real estate buying frenzies in history as people used those low rates to lock in low monthly payments, pushing prices up at an unhealthy rate due to that crazy demand. Then, in reaction to that unhealthy growth and inflation in the broader economy, the Federal Reserve started raising interest rates at the fastest rate in history, causing one of the sharpest slowdowns in the history of real estate at the end of 2022. So, in 2023, as we started the year with higher mortgage rates and near all-time lows in inventory, we still saw a fairly normal real estate market. When interest rates got pushed up to their highs over 8% in October, we definitely saw things slow down and sellers dropping prices some. But houses still sold. The sky did not fall, and it was not a market crash by any measurement. Home prices held steady, people still moved, and all the experts forecasting for 2024 are predicting mortgage rates at a more manageable level, home price growth at a more healthy, balanced place. The housing market survived, and it seems to have found its way back to normal after that roller coaster with all the predictions looking positive and healthy for both buyers and sellers. My point in all of this is that there is a baseline need for places to live. The millennials are the largest generation since baby boomers, and they are in prime home buying age, meaning there is significant demand for people entering the housing market. Not to mention everyone else who still has jobs and families, marriages, deaths, divorces, graduations, all the normal life events that lead people to buy or sell a house. Those things still happen. The housing market is resilient. And so, as I think about lessons to learn and take away from 2023, advice to give to my clients and to the people who are thinking about moving, I just say I think we need to think more calmly and reasonably about things like this, especially when it comes to planning for the future. Because I see all the news stories and YouTube videos and posts about how the market is going to crash and prices will never recover. And it's always people who don't read the research, who don't know the market, who want attention or clicks and know that people love to see the world burn, or they're hurt and want cheaper houses, so they want to believe a narrative and they're going to find the once in a lifetime opportunity to get it on the dip and get rich quick. The reality is, fortunately, more boring than that. So don't listen to the people who are predicting it'll all burn down, because if we've learned anything from the last 5 years, from 2023 as a whole, it's that housing is resilient. People still need places to live, and the market wants stability, not extremes, because it works off of supply and demand and real people who function best with stability. So, sorry I'm not more entertaining, but I hope that's helpful advice for you or someone in your life who's thinking about moving. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're thinking about buying or selling a house in 2024 and want some help with that, I'm a realtor in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex serving the North Texas area, and I'd love to help you. In the description, you can find a link to request a free consultation for personalized moving advice. You can also find my email there, and you can follow me on Instagram at Hansen Realtors DFW. Again, my name is Chase Hansen, a realtor serving the DFW area. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.